Today we're diving into a really fascinating and, frankly, high-stakes conflict. It's a clash between a decorated American hero who's now a U.S. Senator and the very institution he served for 25 years, the Pentagon. It's a story that really puts military law and constitutional rights on a collision course.
So let's just jump right in with the accusation at the heart of all this. The Secretary of Defense didn't just disagree with a U.S. Senator, he publicly called his words seditious. Now that's a very heavy word with incredibly serious implications.
So to really get how we got to this point, we need to look at the man in the middle of this storm, Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona. Who is he and what exactly is he being accused of?
Well, this really paints a picture of a life dedicated to service, doesn't it? We're not talking about just any politician. Mark Kelly has flown combat missions, he's commanded a space shuttle as an astronaut, and now he's a U.S. Senator. His military background is deep and it's respected, which honestly makes this whole conflict even more surprising.
And despite that record, the Pentagon has taken some very serious disciplinary steps against him. They've given him a formal censure, and even more seriously, they've started the process to potentially reduce both the rank and the retirement pay that he earned over a quarter-century of service.
So you have to ask, what could a guy with this kind of resume have possibly said to get such a severe reaction from the military he was once a part of? Let's take a look at the video that started this whole firestorm.
And here's some crucial context. This didn't just happen out of the blue. The senator's comments were a direct reaction to a series of pretty controversial military airstrikes. These were strikes where the legality was already being questioned by a lot of people.
And there it is. That's the sentence. Standing next to 5 other members of Congress, Senator Kelly looked into a camera and said, "Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders." It seems like a simple statement, but it's the one the Pentagon considered a direct threat to military discipline.
Now, this is where the story gets really specific, and it raises a huge question. If there were 6 lawmakers in that video, why is only one of them, Senator Kelly, being punished? The answer, it turns out, is buried deep in the unique rules of military law.
The whole thing really hinges on this, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You'll hear it called the UCMJ. You see, for most veterans, once you're out of the service, you're a civilian, plain and simple. But for retired officers who get a military pension, like Captain Kelly, well, the UCMJ can still apply.
And this chart lays it out perfectly. The other veterans in the video had separated from the service. That makes them civilians as far as military law is concerned. But Senator Kelly is retired. That means he gets a pension, and this is the critical part. He's still under the jurisdiction of the UCMJ. That one legal difference is why he's the only one facing charges.
So this unique legal status creates a fundamental conflict. Is Senator Kelly a retired officer undermining military order, or is he a sitting senator just exercising his constitutional right to free speech? This is really the heart of the whole debate.
I mean, the two sides here are just worlds apart. The Pentagon says Kelly violated specific articles of the UCMJ, that his conduct was seditious and bad for discipline. Kelly's side? They argue he was just doing his job as a senator, using his First Amendment rights and fighting back against what he believes is a politically motivated attack.
And in his own defense, Senator Kelly isn't just pointing to the law. He's bringing up his own personal story of service and sacrifice. He's reminding everyone of his commitment to the country, even during an unimaginable personal crisis. It frames this as not just a legal issue, but a deeply personal one.
As you can probably guess, a fight like this between a senator and the Pentagon wasn't going to stay out of the political arena for very long. Let's take a look at some of that fallout.
Yeah, right away, other political leaders jumped in. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer did not mince words at all. He called it a despicable act of political retribution and basically framed the defense secretary as a political operative, not some impartial official.
You know, commentary in the media has pointed out that even though the Pentagon backed off from bigger threats like a court-martial, the actions they did take, censuring a senator, threatening his rank, well, that could set a really dangerous and terrible precedent. It's basically injecting politics directly into the military justice system.
So the key takeaway here is that this is about way more than just one senator and one video. What could this conflict mean for the future relationship between our government, our military, and all the veterans who serve in both?
And this brings us to the really big, long-term concerns. I mean, think about it. If a senator's military rank can be threatened over something they say politically, that could easily become a weapon used by any administration against its opponents. It blurs a critical line and could have a real chilling effect, It might make other retired service members too afraid to ever speak out about military policy.
So, in the end, this whole thing leaves us with a really deep and unanswered question. For the many, many veterans who go on to serve in public office, where does that line get drawn? Where does their past military duty end and their current duty as an elected official to speak freely begin? This case has definitely shown us that the answer is not clear at all.